right, so clearly you can see the lawn is overgrown. Not my fault, I'm not lazy. I've been out of town. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen we had a big project over by Northwest Indiana. And so I've been gone. And then when I got back late Wednesday, it was too late to mow. Yesterday, Thursday, had too much to catch up on. You guys deal with the same kind of stuff, right? So much stuff to catch up on from work. I can see that the lawn needs to be, cut, but I can't get to it. Now we're sitting here on Saturday, by the way. Friday, I don't know where Friday went. Here I am on Saturday. You can hear I'm not the only one working here. But this is how we have to do it in Florida. You have to dodge rain, and sometimes you have to work in the rain. So this is not gonna, no, I shouldn't say, I was gonna say it's not gonna be a fun mow. It's actually gonna be a fun mow. I don't know, maybe it'll be painful. I guess we'll have to see how it comes out. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking it's gonna be more pain than joy. Joy, pain, sunshine, and rain.
24 hours later.
All right, so everything you've seen in this video up to now was yesterday when I actually did this overgrown mow, and I'm here today on Sunday. Everything came out great. You would actually never even know. So now I'm gonna take you through exactly what I did. And in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I will share this with you at the end of the video. But the first thing to realize is that you want to have a very sharp blade when you do this. That is the #1 thing. So sharpen up your mower blade. You guys know I sharpen my blades every couple 2-3 weeks anyway. This gas super recycler here was sharpened just a week ago and hasn't even really been used. So we're good there. Now the next thing is, what are we gonna do with all these clippings? We're overgrown, we're obviously breaking the 1/3 rule here. We need to do something with the clippings, but I'm gonna be practical with you here because I try to give you practical tips, right? Because sure, I could fire up the bag and I could bag these, but I'm just like you. And #1 is I don't have the room for these clippings. I have nowhere on my property to put these clippings. Secondly, if I put them in the back of my truck, I already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get busy at work, they're gonna heat up back there, they're gonna get rotten, they're gonna turn yellow, they're gonna turn slimy, and they're gonna stink. And I just know I'm not gonna take the time to go to the dump to dump the clippings. It's just not gonna happen. So what do? Practicality wins out over what the rule is, and so I am going to side discharge, and that's what I recommend you do if you can't mow. So with that side discharge set up and ready to go, now I'm gonna raise my wheels all the way to the top. Top setting, this is St. Augustine grass. I'm already cutting mostly on the top setting, but I did find a way to get a little extra, especially if you have a Toro super recycler. I'm gonna give you a little quick tip. Here's a little cheater. That's the highest setting on the old Toro overbiter. And this is one of the advantages to having the old school notches here, is watch this. You can actually go up an extra half of a notch, which can come in handy during these times of overgrown mows. Boom, look at that. That gives you at least an extra 1/4 inch, which, ask your ex-girlfriend about that extra 1/4 inch and how much that meant to her. St. Aug's gonna feel the same on this day, let me tell you that for sure. Speaking of side discharge, which was also my nickname in college, some of you might have asked why did I not try the battery mower with this, and that is because the new battery Toro super recyclers do not come with a side discharge unit. You have to get that separately, and I haven't done that. So gas gets the call, and Angus did just fine. Now, normally it takes me a good hour and 15 minutes to do a full service mow, edge, trim, below, and I usually do a double cut too, just because I do, just 'cause I like to mow. However, on this day, this took a solid 4 hours to do the entire lawn because I actually ended up doing things 3 times. So I did that first mow, full side discharge, complete. And you'll see I was left with a lot of chunks. I mean, it was pretty bad. I actually put this on Instagram and people were like, dude, what is going on? And this is only 7 days of growth and my first overgrowth of the year. So it was pretty bad, honestly. So you can see all those clumps and this looks really bad. Let me just stop here and say, letting your lawn get overgrown and having to cut like this, it's not good for it, But if it happens a couple, 2 or 3 times a year, it's not the worst thing ever. It's if you allow this to continually happen back to back to back. That's when you're going to see some issues with your lawn. But as you're going to see here, I recovered perfectly. And the main key, all this cutting tall, all that is important. But the main key is I go in between and I use my blower and I break up the chunks. And you'll see me doing that constantly, going through, blowing the lawn out. Think of it like a barber blowing clippings out of your hair, right? Cleaning you up. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to blow. What I'm really doing though is I'm blowing it all in and breaking up those clumps, because it's those clumps that are going to cause you problems down the road. So I got that first cut done, and then I went ahead and gave it that good blow, and I kept the setting where it was, and I kept the side discharge on, and I cut again, and this time I went in a completely different direction. And I started noticing that it's getting cleaner. Things are starting to look a little bit better. I'm starting to feel better about things. And then I go ahead and blow all the chunks up again. So that's the key, right? In between, after each mowing, I'm going and blowing all those chunks in with the blower. So I've done 2 cuts and 2 blows in between each one. I did go ahead and manage to get the edging done and the weed whacking, because, you know, I mean, I'm not a savage, right? And so that is starting to look good. Now for the third and final cut, I'm gonna keep that setting high. Remember, I'm at that 1/4 inch extra, whatever. I'm gonna keep it there, but I'm gonna go ahead and mulch this time, and that's gonna do a final cleanup. And after I did that, everything looked great. I mean, you would have never known that this lawn was overgrown. And this is Palmetto St. Augustine. I'll talk a little bit about that and the difference in the Floratam on the other side here in a second. But that was really the key, was 3 cuts on that super high first 2 side discharge, a lot of blowing in between, and then a mulch on the third one. Now, the most important thing though, I can't keep that extra high setting there all year long, because it doesn't really give a very good cut anyway. It's not made to be up there. And that is my forgiveness. That is my fudge factor, right? That's my fail-safe setting. I need to get back down. So what I'm gonna do is in 2 days, which will be tomorrow, because I mowed this, today's Sunday, I mowed Saturday, tomorrow, Monday, I'm gonna do a weeknight lawn work, and I'm gonna bring it down a notch. And that way I'm gonna get back to my normal setting. I'll still have my fail-safe there if I need it again, and I'm going to. It's gonna happen where I'm gonna get overgrown again. Just, it's inevitable. You get busy, things happen, but it's, again, as long as you don't let it happen back to back too many times in a row, you're gonna be fine. Now, the other thing, the other side, the Floratam. Okay, so everything you've seen perpetrated so far was on the Palmetto St. Augustine grass right here. And you can see it's looking just fine. Maybe a little pale, kind of knocked a little of the color out of it, because, you know, we did break the 1/3 rule. It probably wasn't the worst breaking of the 1/3 rule ever, but you can see we did get a little bit close down to the quicks there, but not bad. Now, over here though, Floratam, completely different, and so I was able to treat this a lot differently. So let me show you first of all why I was able to treat it differently, and then I'll show you that I just hammered it with the 0 turn and had a good time. Floratam, a little bit more forgiving, and that's because Floratam has more of an upright growth habit. It grows straight up, whereas the Palmetto, and these are varieties of St. Augustine grass, the Palmetto is a little more compact, the leaf structure is a little bit thinner, the blade structure, and so it's not as forgiving, whereas Floratam just grows straight up in the air. Let me show you. Breaking the 1/3 rule with Floratam is not as serious for this exact reason. Let me show you. So this is the business end of a stolon. I've talked about stolons before. Back here was the mother plant, and it's been creeping out this way. You can see the nodes here. You can see we have a couple different nodes on there, pushing up grass blades, and then there is the very, very end right there. You see that right there? That's the end that was pushing out on its way. Now this has been cut, see? This was cut yesterday, and you saw how overgrown it was, and so this is what I want to show you. Here is an uncut. Here is an uncut Floratam St. Augustine blade. Now it's drying up because it's been in the garage here, but you can see how long that is. So even if I destroy the 1/3 rule and cut way down here, I'm still green because of how tall this grass is. See that? So I can cut way down here. Now if I get down here into the whites, that's when it starts to be a problem. And so you can see it illustrated here on this actual stolon. You can see I cut down into here, but I didn't cut down into this meat, down into here, into the crowns or anything. We're still way up here in the grass blades, and that's one of the advantages or forgiveness that you get from Floratam. Even though it grows so fast and so tall and gets really long, you can see you're able to cut off a bunch of it and you're not really gonna hurt it. So am I telling you to break the 1/3 rule with the Floratam willy-nilly? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying that there is some more forgiveness there when it happens, but The real problem then becomes the clumping, and that's why I keep stressing the blowing out the clumps in between. It isn't necessarily breaking the 1/3 rule, which isn't good, and I'm not giving you permission to do it, but with Floratam, it isn't the worst thing in the world, it's the clumping. The clumping is what's gonna get you. So make sure you're doing those blowouts in between. So because the Floratam is so much more forgiving, I was able then to just go ahead and mow with my Ego 0 turn, because I wanted to see how that was gonna do in some thick stuff. In this particular sample that you're looking at here, this is one pass. Now I went over this multiple times to burn in the stripes, but also to go ahead and get the clippings pushed in and everything. But you can see right here, this is how it cut. Full width, full strength, all thick and everything. I mean, that's really, with the grass being fully thick like that, overgrown, and did a great job. Now, should you go mowing stripes in an overgrown lawn? No, I did it because I wanted a thumbnail. I thought it would look pretty. For most of you guys, I want you to do it the way I first recommended there. All those mows, all that high, all that. I just did it with the Ego mainly for time. And so this goes back to one other thing. This is the argument for why you may want to get a 0 turn for your weeknight lawn work, because you can knock it out quick. Now, I was out of town, so that's not why I missed this mow, but some of you might be missing a mow just because you don't have the time. And so by getting the 0 turn, I mean, I can literally zip through this whole lawn in like 15 minutes just as a quick mow. And so that's why the 0 turn can come in if you have a grass like this in Florida that grows really fast with the rainy season and this and that, and it's tough to keep up with. That may be a reason to get a 0 turn. So just a little extra thought there. So there you go, guys. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope that you don't let your lawn get overgrown, but if you do, you might use some of the tips that I've given you today. Now, as far as what I'm doing here, I am getting rid of spider webs that come up in here. And what I do is I spray some bug spray. It's called PT Micro Care. I don't know if that works. You get whatever you want. But I spray it here on the Webster because of the fact that the spiders are smart and they'll grab onto this and they'll lower themselves down, and then when you walk away, they'll go right back up there and they start everything over again. So by spraying bug spray inside the Webster here, what you're doing is you're killing the spiders. And like I said, you'll see when I do this, they hang off of it, trying to escape. They think they're smart, but all they do is they hit a big fluff ball full of poisonous death. And yeah, so that's my little tip there for keeping the spider webs out of your pool cage, is spray your Webster before you wipe. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope this tip's been helpful to you. Leave me some comments below, and I'll see you in the lawn.